Hey there, everybody. Last night I saw Savages, the new Oliver Stone film, and I enjoyed it. I'll give it a 6. I thought it was, pretty good. Oliver Stone is one of our, I guess most recognizable directors. He's made a lot of controversial films in his career. This is kind of a return to form for him, I would say. At least I think it's his best movie in a while. I haven't really cared for much of his work since probably the year 2000. I can't remember the name of that football movie. With Al Pacino, Jamie Foxx. Any Given Sunday, there you go. I mean, that was okay, but then he just kind of slipped for me. I thought World Trade Center was by far his worst film. I really did not like that film. The trailers never really got me. I just had a good friend whose taste I respect, for some reason, tell me that this was the greatest movie in the world. It's not, but I can see what he loved about it. I just thought it was good. Everything was just good without ever being, like, great. It's about Mexican cartel trying to get in, well, take over the local California marijuana trade, basically. And to manipulate, to get what they want, the cartel kidnaps the love of two guys' lives. These two guys met in high school, and one went to war, one went to college. They're now like the perfect team. They make the best weed on the planet. So now the cartel, wants that weed, and they're, the cartels, they're not going to stop at anything to get it. So they kidnap their love of their life, and basically it's them trying to get her back while at the same time, save their own asses from the cartel. There's a lot of like little other things going on there, but I think that's basically the gist of the story. Stars Blake Lively. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to know her. She did seem kind of familiar. I think she's from a TV show anyway. She's okay here. She just basically has to be either sexy or like scared, like the entire film, but she does a fine job, and she is very hot, so that, helps. She's gorgeous. It also stars Taylor Kitsch. This is the first thing that I've even like remotely liked Taylor Kitsch in. I'm not saying he was great. I'm just saying this was like the closest thing I've been to believing him in anything. He's had a big year. This is like the third film in a calendar year for him, after John Carter and Battleship, and now Savages. Let's see, Emile Hirsch is in there, John Travolta's in there, Benicio del Toro, giving one of his best performances in a long time. That's like what made the movie for me, was Benicio del Toro. He was awesome. He was disgusting. I just can't get over him. He's really good. He's really good, and he he makes the character so disgusting that you can't believe it's like a car wreck performance. You know, it's gross, but yet you can't look away. He's really terrific, and he's always like really good. He's always doing something interesting, but here he just really gets free reign. It really chews the scenery a little bit, but I love that. So it's like this director giving kind of a free reign to the actor, and well, he really nailed it. Let's see, who else was in there? I don't know who the other, it's like Ben and Chon Weed, and one of them is Taylor Kitsch, and the other one, he kind of looked familiar, but I'm not sure of his name, or I can't place him in anything else. Salma Hayek is in there, looking absolutely gorgeous. It was good to see her again. Who else is in there? Oh, well, whatever. Based on a book. I can't tell you who wrote the screenplay. I can't tell you who wrote the book, but it is based on a novel. You know, I think that, you know, I would like to maybe see how the novel turned out. I just thought there was a lot of excess to this film, and I know that's ridiculous to talk about Oliver Stone and excess, but I just thought it was, you know, just a little excessive here and there. Like there's little spouts of philosophy, and all they are just like fortune cookie wisdom thrown in there, and it like wants to sound smart and, you know, meaningful. It doesn't really come off that way. The violence, and it particularly towards the end, you know, the violence is very, you know, pretty gory, and throughout. And then towards the end of the film, I thought it was kind of like violent for the sake of violence. I mean, literally. Characters seem to be like having sex, like hot, nasty sex when they didn't like need to be. Like characters could have been, you know, sitting at home reading a book, and what happens, and that's fine. But instead of just, you know, doing anything else, they are, you know, having hot, wild sex. So it was like, okay, you know. So it was just like gratuitous, which is fine, but again, gratuitous. Oliver Stone's style, of course, I would say that this you could kind of lump in with Natural Born Killers, though it's far more restrained, or U-Turn, which I feel, again, it's far more restrained. You know, different filters, different lenses, black and white. It just, again, if you can think of Natural Born Killers or U-Turn, it's very similar in terms of style. And that was good. I mean, that's Oliver Stone's thing. So it was fine. It was, again, it seemed like it was more controlled than it has been. I still can't say that it, like, well, it did make me like feel. You know, I think where the script was lacking, Oliver Stone's visual storytelling, you know, made up for it. The ending, I think, is probably what most people will be talking about in this film. I can tell you right now, I saw this with a mostly sold-out crowd. I mean, there were a few scattered seats around. I had empty seats on either side of me, but still, I would call it a crowded theater. The audience groaned at the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was just like, oh, come on. You know, that, like, literally, that's what the entire audience did en masse. So I don't know. The ending, it goes to that whole gratuity thing. It was just violence for the sake of violence. I don't really understand what happened, you know, or I understand what happened. I just don't understand why, you know, why they had to tell it that way. It doesn't really make sense to me. I thought all the acting was really good. Again, the characters are... There's a lot of characters. It's kind of an epic story. You meet a lot of people. You don't necessarily know everyone's name. You don't really get to see a lot of people showing more than one aspect of their character. So, you know, whatever. You get a lot of focused performances from a lot of good actors. And so it's good. But, you know, you'd like to see some more variety. I'd say that really the two main characters, Taylor Kitsch and the guy I can't remember, do really get put through the paces and respond nicely. John Travolta was good. Benicio del Toro just steals the show here. He does get to show, and John Travolta does too, they really have fleshed out characters. But they're also really good actors, and most likely insane, and so even their performances seem to fill out whatever is lacking. But I don't think much is lacking in terms of their characters. They are satellite characters, but I think they are really fleshed out, and again, Benicio del Toro, just super creepy. I mean, again, one of his best performances, you know, ever. I think it ranks up there with Usual Suspects. I mean, it may not be the best movie, but that knife fighting movie he made with Tommy Lee Jones, I always remember his performance from that. You know, again, he's always good. Sin City, he's good. He's great here. You know, he's really good. So you know, it was really good. I just thought it was excessive, kind of, you know, I never really got any point or message out of it, which is fine. This is just a straightforward story, and a good story at that, very entertaining. But, you know, whatever. I'd like to get a little meaning out of it. I'd like to get a little philosophy, and yet there's a lot of philosophy in it, but it's just like thrown out there and then just pretty much instantly disregarded. So, whatever. It was just excessive. Without enough brains. You know, I think that's good. But lots of good acting. Kind of a return to form for Oliver Stone, which is good. So that's about it. I really can't think of anything else. I'm gonna give it a solid 6. There's really nothing inside me that wants to watch it again, even, you know, at home. So I think again, quality watch, but not fantastic. So I think a solid 6 is fair. And that's Savages. Thank you very much.